just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the least for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is...
The newest Durk court hearing revealed his release date, but it also revealed something concerning involving more members snitching on Durk. It reads, people at Durk's hearing today said he looked noticeably thinner and he cut his dreads, alongside a list of very important updates reading, judge denied his motion to disqualify, his motion to dismiss for vagueness was denied, his motion for a bill of particulars was taken under advisement. The judge is letting both sides submit extra responses, and the motion to dismiss count 4 was taken under advisement. This left many concerned for Durk and sparked a major debate on the No Jumper podcast.
Remo, this is my last No Jumper. Durk already told me I wasn't supposed to come back up here with that last.
Now look what happened to him.
That man got kids. You talking about look what happened to him.
Definitely not happy about him.
I wouldn't be happy if you go to jail, Adam, because I know you got daughter. Break down.
There's multiple people who are no longer there for their kids as a result of that Durk allegedly called in.
Until they put that on black and white, sir. Stop throwing stuff on a black man who's trying to do something right for the community right now.
The feds have already put out a lot of information about this.
You don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out.
So
this is a major platform.
You're not the boss of me. We talk about rap on here. I think it is well within our jurisdiction to talk about the fact
jurisdiction?
That
what type of police is
been
this?
alleged to have ordered them.
This
free smirk though.
Free
man.
smirk. But also maybe
police. It's a platform. This some police.
To sit down for a little and decide, hey, maybe I'm not anybody else.
We don't have no proof that.
Well,
we don't.
But Durk's lawyers securing the motion was a major win and could result in Durk getting bond, because prosecutors acknowledged that there's a snitch who showed them an iMessage group chat for OTF which reported Durk is facing allegations from federal prosecutors that he put hits on O-Block members for not retaliating for King Von. Prosecutors will introduce testimony from a witness who claims Durk gave the order. Continuing in the evidence files, it reads, Durk feuded with Monaduke over Durk's belief they weren't retaliating properly for King Von's passing. Whack 100 and academics reacted to it and spoke about the case.
To life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Durk says y'all that Quando yet. Nothing says that.
No, you missing the point. Okay. They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the is cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so
fact. That's co-conspiracy too.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of the is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other 2 was figuring out how they getting paid.
However, new evidence suggests the snitch isn't telling the truth and could be playing with the feds. It reports Durk might be found not guilty after documents reveal the main witness switched his story. At first he claimed there was no bounty, but now he says there was, which leaves fans wondering if the snitch is trying to say there's a bounty now just to side with the feds and incriminate Lil Durk, or he's lying to them to mess with their investigation. Sources believe this was OTF Didi who was messing with the feds, but he's currently trying to get out of the criminal case.
And that's what Didi did. He's basically saying all this evidence y'all got against Durk got nothing to do with me. Why you got me charged with Durk? And that doesn't mean he's going against Durk. That just means he wants his case severed. And I'm telling you, if it's severed, it helps Durk. Because one of the main connective tissue to this conspiracy is saying that Durk told Didi to hire. Didi's saying, I ain't get told to hire nobody. And I ain't hiring nobody. What are you talking about? Why would I hire someone? That's his thing.
Due to this, it was announced, there's good news for Durk. The prosecutors want to use several pages of new evidence, which is bad, but it can buy him time to try getting a bond release. Although it's important to understand he's being charged for hiring the hit that took out Lil Tim, but also another incident that they tried taking out Quando Rondo. With it reported, feds believe Durk was behind the attempt of Quando Rondo in 2021 at a gas station in Georgia. They're trying to prove Durk was involved in this attempt because of his feature in this song. As the files write, Durk raps the line, "They're on my page page like Slide for Vaughn, I know they're trolling me. In a podcast, he said, for some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. They're trying to use when the song was released and when the podcast happened to create a timeline and see if it lines up with when Lil Pab was taken out, as the song was released in October 2021 and the interview started releasing in May 2023. The crime that took out Lil Pab was in August of 2022, which makes this a timeline that lines up with the crime. Although Durk's team is trying their best to get him a bond in any way they can, they submitted paperwork for his release, which resulted in the news. Words from Durk's father have Durk being released on bond. With this being his third attempt, his lawyers made an offer so great the judge can't refuse.
I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
This was right around the time the prosecutors dropped lyric evidence they had against Durk, as they threw out the lyric evidence which had Durk rapping. Told me they got an addy, they got the location, look on the news, see your son screaming no.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
However, Durk's lawyer publicly called out the feds and said the charges against him are a joke.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Act. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
But while Durk continues to wait behind bars, the feds are only getting more information and evidence against him. They're beginning to cut deals for other people affiliated with Durk because they want to make sure they sentence Durk fully. As it looks like OTF Vonnie is now snitching. His court file was updated showing he's no longer in the prison's custody, which means that he's likely been released on house arrest. But what's crazy is that Vonnie leaked that he was taking a plea deal on his own. He texted a friend to ask for help on what he should do for a plea deal, but the friend leaked it. As Vonnie texted, "I'm trying to plea out to a 32, which is the base for M for hire. The max is 43, which is life. I'd get -2 points for a plea, -1 point for an early plea, and -2 points for no background. Meaning I'll have 27 points, which is 5 to 7 years. I can't go to trial. I don't want to be done like them other guys." As he's referencing what happened to OTF Jam in the end of that message, but more on that later. But what's weird is that once Vonnie was leaked to be snitching, his own father continued to call him out for his crimes, because his father admits that Vonnie allegedly had a role in King Von's passing and that Durk knew it was happening.
I'm gonna give you this. It's a backdoor, and I got all the pieces. That's all I'm gonna tell you. As Durk asked Vonnie, "Is it open?" Vonnie told him it's off the hinges.
Wait. Are you talking about the Von? Like King Von?
Listen very carefully. When the payment was made to Little Tim, the next day or the same day, Durk asked Vonnie, "Was it open?" This is what he asked him. Was it open? This was his exact words. Was it open? He told him it's off the hinges.
Are you saying that Vonnie backdoor King Von? No way. That was right in there.
You heard what I just said. Guess what? You need motive first, right? I got bankers. I got bankers that'll testify that or will make a contract or make a statement to you and let you know that this is the amount of money he had, this is what he had, this is that another. You need motive first and foremost. I got text messages from the lawyer letting you know that who told on Durk before, who told on Von before he died.
It's a crazy claim to make, but when you look more into what was happening in the legal system with Durk and King Von at the time, it begins to make more sense. Because you realize that they were both in a court case together where they went after a man named Alexander Witherspoon. It was going to go to trial, but a few months months after Von passed, the case ended in a private settlement and Durk's charges were dropped. Many believe that Durk could have shifted the blame onto King Von since he had passed, which in turn gave Durk a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Why would Durk want Von?
All right, man. Let me give you this. First of all, you didn't sign your rights over. You ain't in no 360 deal. First of all, you can't bring nobody into the business and they surpass you. How you bring me to the table and I pass you up? Don't nobody want their chief spot taken, do they?
That's an interesting
Dude was
thing.
a slack. He was signed to boys. He was Von wasn't no slack.
That's interesting. I did find out that Von didn't have any contractual ties to Durk like that, which was interesting.
I mean, come on, man. He wasn't even signed to him. How's this his friend? He lied on Breakfast Club and said, "Hey, you think your man would be sitting here with $300,000 worth of jewelry on and he not have an attorney? He got a public defender."
But this had fans beginning to realize a pattern between when Durk is on Instagram Live and when other people around him pass, because they realized he's on live whenever someone passes. He was on Instagram the minute when King Von, Lil Pab, and FBG Duck all passed away. Fans of Durk now wonder if he tried using Instagram Live as an alibi for himself. In case the feds ever asked where he was when a crime went down, he could easily claim he was on Instagram the whole time. Although Vonnie's father wasn't done yet and claimed Vonnie was behind both Lil Pab and King Von's passing.
Oh no, he ain't take my advice. He ain't respond no back to me because this is on a tablet. He on a jail tablet when I sent that to him. He ain't respond nothing else to him. I told you he can't take my advice because they playing. They made themselves get caught. This is what come along with it. They wanted to get caught. You understand me?
So, that's what you meant by trenches paint. Okay.
What you mean trenches what?
Was it you that said that with the whole narrative about Vonnie snitching with the text messages? Like that's
yeah. I don't know who said that, but that was me.
But that was a focus. Everybody was trying to make it seem like that's what the text messages was about.
That's just saying what he finna cop out to and this, that, and and with me saying Von, some people like, damn, what he gonna tell on some words on Von?
I ain't gonna lie, I said that in my video. I'm intrigued to know what the Von name was for.
No, he ain't gonna tell him no Von. You gonna tell it just like you orchestrated Lil Pab, you orchestrated this, and guess who you work for?
Although Vonnie isn't the only snitch, Dee Dee's younger brother Ted is now also snitching. Rappers were scared that he flipped sides and tweeted out, "Please tell me this isn't real." The biggest question is, what did Ted say to the feds? In case you didn't know, Ted knows a lot about OTF because his brother Dee Dee is Durk's main hitter. The worst part is that he shouldn't even be in the case, but he was caught at a store with a firearm.
Really?
Dude had a what about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
Almost instantly when they arrived at the jail, Ted was asking to snitch on the people he knows that did crimes. You'd think people with OTF or close to them would try to stay solid, but Ted was only solid for 2 seconds after he got out of the squad car.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
I swear to God, I tell you, I will tell you, please, I swear, please.
Ted was then placed in the waiting cell and waited for an officer to come over and talk to him.
Wait, hold on, you gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? 779, what you saying, man?
We're gonna see what we can do for you, all right?
We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me.
Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax.
Give me No, I'm saying, what you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
Despite there being many snitches against Durk, his lawyers are trying their best. It was announced Durk has filed a new motion to dismiss based on the vagueness of the second indictment. If it is not dismissed, he requests a bill of particulars to specify proof against Durk. They want the coded language he used, the nature of the bounty, the date, and circumstance. Because in the paperwork, Durk's lawyers are basically asking the feds to prove they even have evidence that Durk ordered the hit. They want them to show where Durk gave the offer for the bounty on Quando Rondo. Quando. They want to know what the reward was that Durk offered, and they want to know the exact date and time of when he did it. Typically, this would already be covered in a court case and disclosed to Durk's lawyers, but they refuse to give it up, which makes Durk's lawyers begin to think they don't even have enough evidence against him. But something concerning is happening with Durk inside of jail. It was just announced Durk taken into solitary after an officer discovered a cell phone in his jail cell.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS, and right now we're gonna show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they're trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
But there's another reason, because it was reported someone was after Durk. It was shared Durk was involved in an altercation inside jail, which resulted in Lil Baby tweeting, "I don't care about nothing else other than Durk right now." The streets began piecing together what happened to Durk, and they think someone has it out for him, because around the same time that Durk was taken out, his other friend Gleesh passed away. Fans of Lil Durk quickly put together who they thought was behind it, and it comes back to Quando Rondo and Lil Tim. The main reason they believe it's them is because Durk's charged for the crime that took out their best friend Lil Pab. Not only that, but they also posted interviews on the same day that Durk was targeted in jail. Lil Tim had this to say.
Shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, shit, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f him and shit like that, because I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
Quando Rondo said something similar, but fans believe they're trying to act fake nice so the feds don't go after them.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. That could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out, or whatever. Like, it could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
As it's very suspicious that two of Durk's biggest ops just happened to do interviews on the same day he was targeted. Unfortunately, with Durk having gone to solitary, it's making his attempt to get a bond much harder. But we heard from other defense lawyers online who claim Durk has a solid defense once it goes to trial. They claim they will get rid of a lot of evidence simply based off the First Amendment for freedom of speech. Durk's lawyers will claim that anything Durk said in the past was all in an effort to continue to stir drama and promote his own music. It might not be ethical for Durk to use street beefs as a means to get attention for himself, but they will claim he was never involved in the actual crime parts of it.
There's a First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is valid.
But Durk getting bond is a real problem because he has the solitary thing working against him, but it was also reported the feds say Durk would need to go broke and give up his property to be granted bond. They fear he might use his fortune to place bounties on witnesses.
No bond for Lil Durk. Let me tell you about what options he has left and why the bond was denied this time. Now, he's in federal court on a for hire charge where he faces the possibility of life in prison. What that means is under the federal law, it is presumed that you do not get a bond because the charge and the penalty are so serious. So your lawyer has to go out there and show why you should get a bond. Now, ultimately, what the district judge decided to deny the bond on was a couple of factors. There's a couple $1 million being put up, but it's not all being put up by Durk. Some of it is from the label, and ultimately Durk has a lot more money and assets than what's being put up. So if I let him out on bond and he tries to flee, he's going to have tons of assets and money at his disposal. And
the main reason they don't want to let him out is because he has so much money and power that he could either flee the country or hire people to take out witnesses and snitches that are trying to take him down. The feds worry that Durk might have done it already. It was announced. Has anyone heard from Jam after he snitched on Durk? Several members are gone, but he's been gone for months, as OTF Jam got a lot of attention after he was outed for being a snitch on DJ Vlad's show.
There's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam got him
put
in
everyone in
a
a jam.
Did 12 years.
12
got
years.
out, interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he flipped.